Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're viewing this. My name is Mike. I'm the Crypto Liberal. Welcome back to my channel. If you find anything in this video redeeming, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a follow, give me a comment, give me something. I love sharing this journey with you. I want to hear about your journey in crypto, especially in dark times, because that'll make the good times even better. I hope your weekend is going awesome. It is hot as hell here in Arizona. It's like 113 today, so I'm trying to stay in the air conditioning, but get outside a little bit and get away from the charts as well, because they're ugly, right? So let's just start with looking at the charts, and we'll start with Bitcoin because that's going to dictate everything, right? So we got a couple hours until the markets close here for the week and the day, or we have the daily close and the weekly close here in a couple hours. And how is that support line looking that I drew for you? I drew it way back on a video before we even got to that line, way back here on May 11th. I drew this support line, and how perfect has it served us, right? It's been perfect. Closed on top of it a couple times, wicked down to it here, closed on top of it here, wicked down to it here, and we're right back there now, right? And so the question is, right? The question is it going to hold? I'm obviously less confident that it's going to hold today than I was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, or even when I really first drew that line, you know, back on a month ago on May 11th. I think a key driving factor of whether that's going to hold is in a couple hours, the futures open for the stock market. And as you recall, the stock market just finished ugly last week after the CPI numbers were announced. Now, the CPI numbers came in worse than expected, but it wasn't, I mean, it was 0.3% worse than the expected number, right? It was expected 8.3, it came in 8.6. And, excuse me, I really don't think that's going to change what the Fed does this week. The Fed's going to raise rates by 50 bips. That's baked in the cake. It's guaranteed. And they're going to raise 50 bips next month. I think the key driving factor and the unknown right now, from the stock market's perspective, is will Chairman Powell, Fed Chief Powell, come out and say, well, because inflation is worse than we expected, we might raise it 75 bips in July. That's the unknown factor, and I think that's what's driving the stock market to tank. So, and look at this, we're going down even more right now. So we're right on that line. We're right on that line. So, you know, our journey, right? We said on here on May 11th that was our support line, and I told you it was going to hold, and it's held for a month now. And I told you when we got to May 30th, right, that even before we got up to this 31.3 number, I told you on May 30th on our video that we need to get above that, hold it for 4, 5, 6, 7 days before we can start moving up. And we couldn't, right? We went up to it a couple times and just got rejected off it, wicked up to it, and, you know, here, wicked up to it, and we just couldn't hold it. And once, I think on Friday, was it, when we couldn't hold 29.4, I said, you know, we can possibly see this go back down to our support line. Well, look at this, right on the video here, right now. I mean, we're on it. We are on it right now. And again, you know, I've said this on the channel, this support line is kind of a general area, right? It's because I'm doing this on the Coinbase chart. Every exchange is going to have, this number is going to be a little bit off. Right now, you know, I have this support line on, probably it's about 29, or I'm sorry, 27, 150, one, you know, 130, somewhere in there, right? So right now we're at 140. So we're right on top of it. We have a couple hours until the daily closes. We have to keep an eye on this and see where it closes. It wicked below earlier today and immediately got bought back up, and we went back over 28. So there's some good, you know, buying pressure down here. Will it hold again? I don't know. We'll see. The futures open in a couple hours, and you know, it looks like Bitcoin's selling off a little bit going into the futures open. So maybe people are a little nervous about what the futures are going to open like in a few hours. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the daily close and the futures, the stock futures open, and how DXY opens. Does that continue to move up? you know, we were exceeding 104 on our way back to that 105 number. Is it going to continue to 105 and beyond, or is it going to, you know, are we going to get a double top? Maybe it goes at 105 and gets rejected and goes back down. So, you know, the key thing this week is to see what the Fed chief says about the numbers, the Fed number, or their expected rate increases, right? So they're going to raise it 50 bips this month. It's baked in the cake. It's guaranteed they're going to raise it 50 bips this month. They're going to raise it 50 bips next month. Question is whether they're going to, if there's going to be some commentary that comes out from Jerome Powell that says we're thinking about 75 bips next month. And so that's a key thing to keep an eye out this month or this week is his commentary when they are going to raise it 50 bips, because that's guaranteed. So that's Bitcoin, right? So and every week, you know, since I started this channel like 6 weeks ago now, pretty much, I've been telling you that I've been buying you know, I put my money into ADA first, Ethereum second, Bitcoin third, and I've told you that by the end of the year, a year from now, and 5 years from now, ADA, in my opinion, not financial advice, in my opinion, ADA will outperform Ethereum and Bitcoin, and ADA and Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin in those same time frames. And each week, each Monday, we review where we've been or where we are on that prediction. So right now, pretty much, look at that. ADA is outperforming Bitcoin by 20 cents right now. They've both lost about 53 bucks since we started this. We put $100 into each of these every week, and we've done it for 5 weeks. So we put $500 into each of them, and I'm doing this to prove to you, to hold my own feet to the fire on my own prediction. I want to, by the end of the year, when I believe this is going to happen, I want to be able to point to it and say, look, you know, what I told you 6-7 months ago is actually true, or I failed miserably. One of the two is going to happen. But look at ETH. ETH is severely dragging behind the other two, and so ADA's just they're equal right now. But again, I told you it was going to happen by the end of the year, not now. So tomorrow we're going to put another $100 into each of these. We're going to keep dollar cost averaging and continue to run that experiment. So let's look at, and then, I don't know, what is it, 2 weeks ago now, I gave you the most bullish chart in crypto, and it was looking more bullish a week ago than it is right now. So let's look at how it's looking right now. The ADA BTC comparison. So ADA, not AGA, ADA BTC. And again, we look at Coinbase, and I look at the weekly for this. So here we are. We're still above this resistance line, right? This hasn't, excuse me, still getting rid of COVID, man. Can't get rid of this cough. So this weekly close, again, this is going to be key to keep an eye on, hasn't come back down into this descending wedge, right? We're still above the resistance. So I'm still thinking it's bullish. Now it could come back down into this wedge, but this wedge, we're almost at the apex, right? There's only a few weeks left. And this is a bullish chart, if you ask me, right? And I'm still expecting, you know, I told you about this, and I was pulling Bitcoin out at, excuse me, I was pulling Bitcoin out and putting it into ADA at, you know, 1 ADA equaled 0.000019 Bitcoin. And, you know, right now we're a little bit under that. So ADA is underperforming where I expect it to be. And I'm, like I've told you, I'm waiting until it gets back up here, which would be, excuse me, which would be 0.00006 Bitcoin, right? So a 3x. I apologize. You know, I feel fine after getting rid of COVID last week, but this cough is persistent. It won't go away. So I apologize for doing that. But so I still convinced that's the most bullish chart in crypto, and I'm sticking with it, and we're gonna we're gonna dollar cost average into all three of those coins, and by the end of the year, I expect ADA to greatly outperform Ethereum and Bitcoin, and ADA and Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin. Speaking of Ethereum, I told you yesterday that I have another chart to bring to you, and I'm thinking now this is gonna be I'm gonna call this my second most bullish chart, and I've been waiting to find an entry point for Ethereum. And so I might pull some of my Bitcoin now and put it into Ethereum. And because I put new money in every Friday, new money, but then, you know, I play around with, you know, my allocations between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ADA as well. Well, I might take some of my Bitcoin today or tomorrow and put it in Ethereum based on this chart. So let's look at what I drew up here for Ethereum. So we're going to go to the Ethereum BTC. Now, Ethereum has gotten crushed, right? Ethereum's gotten crushed. And we're looking at the Coinbase and the weekly chart. And so look at this red line I got. We're right on it. Well, where does this red line come from? If you go back, like, look at this, how perfect it is again on the weekly chart. So back to March of last year, March of 2021, and even further back than that, December of 2020, this red line served as support on the weekly for ETH versus Bitcoin. And, you know, right now, when I'm bringing this to you, one ETH is worth 0.05217, so 0.052 essentially Bitcoin. And I'm kind of thinking this blue line up here is kind of the resistance. It's like an ascending triangle. So, you know, that's a bullish chart pattern. And you can see this blue line served as resistance. You know, we had a little pop above it, little fake out for a few weeks, but it's served as resistance, you know, going back to, you know, the highs of the past 2 years, really. So all the way back to May of last year. So a little over a year, I guess. So I'm thinking this is a good entry point for, you know, an Ethereum trade versus Bitcoin. Not that they, you know, we're right on this support line, and not that they both can't go lower, but Ethereum has gotten crushed so much in the past week that, you know, that's when you want to jump in, right? It's just gotten crushed versus Bitcoin, and versus its dollar USD amount as well. But that's the perfect time you want to jump in. Now they both could go lower. Bitcoin could go lower. We could lose my support line there, and maybe Ethereum dumps harder, and ADA will dump harder. But there's gonna be a rally at some point. And since we're on so many support levels, you know, almost generational support levels, that I can't pass up those entry points. So, and again, as I stressed on yesterday, right, this chart we're looking at is a weekly chart. So this is a long game I'm playing, right? This chart or this pattern, this ascending triangle with the red and blue lines, I mean, the apex is out until like August of next year. I mean, September of next year. Now, you don't usually get to the apex, but that's how long this chart pattern is. So I'm not playing this for a trade that I'm going to get out next week or next month or even maybe 6 months from now. I'm playing it for a long-term trade where I think the return on Ethereum, like I said, by the end of the year, a year from now, 5 years from now, will outperform Bitcoin. And that's why I'm probably going to move some of my Bitcoin into Ethereum at these levels. Just what I'm doing. You need to, you know, take account of your own portfolio, make your own decisions based on all the research that you're doing, and into the coins you want. Like I said, I keep it to 3, and I do long-term trends. One last thing I wanted to remind you: don't trade on leverage. Look at this. In the past, like 24 hours, I think it was, yeah, or no, in the last hour. So this was posted earlier today. So it was an hour, just in 1 hour, there were $43 million in Bitcoin long liquidations. And there's probably been more since then, because we went up to 28, and I'm sure that drew some people into some long positions, and now we're back hitting that support line. And I'm sure there's more that got liquidated. Don't trade on leverage, right? Don't do it. Those people that just got liquidated, they lost their coins. They can't trade anymore with that money. It's gone. It's kaput, right? If you buy and hold, you still have the coins, even though you might have lost some money, you know, or USD equivalent. So don't trade on leverage. Don't do it. So that's what I have for you today. You know, keep an eye. Let's see if we're going down more in BTC here. So BTC, USD, Coinbase, and see where we're at. Yeah, we rallied back up a little bit, back in the 350s. So, you know, that support line, we went right down to it again. And we seem to be holding it. I'm looking this one on the daily. I mean, we seem to be holding it, but there's still a couple hours left in the day. So, you know, just to wrap up, keep an eye on the daily when it closes. See if we hold that support line. Keep an eye on that ADA chart. See if we stay above that resistance, right? And follow me on Twitter, because I'll probably update these on Twitter, you know, at the weekly close, daily close, and just say, hey, we closed above it or below it, or, you know, what happened with those. And keep a close eye on that ETH chart. See if we can stay above that support line, that year long support line, because I think this is a great opportunity to jump in to get some ETH when it's just gotten killed the past week, really, right? So that's what I'm doing. I hope you're staying strong. You're not losing hope. You know, I've said this before. Having money in crypto, in my opinion, is the best place to make generational wealth for you and your family, you and your loved ones. And there's no better place to put your money. And there's no better place to put your money today than in crypto. And in my opinion, ADA, ETH, Bitcoin, in that order. So I hope you're doing well. We're gonna make it, friends. We're gonna make it. We're still above the support line. We're all gonna make it. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Give me a like, give me a subscribe. I will be back tomorrow. I will be back every day, because we're gonna make it. We are going to make it. It's gonna go up at some point. It has to. It has to. And we'll talk about where to take profits and what we do when we get to move up, because all I've been making, since I've been making videos, 6 weeks of videos, we've been just moving down. I can't wait to share some excitement with you, because I can generate my own excitement, and I'm always optimistic, but it'll be nice when I don't have to generate it, and when the market is being optimistic with me. So that's it. I love you very much. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy the outdoors if it's not 113 where you're at. And that's it. My name is Mike. I am the Crypto Liberal. See you tomorrow. Good night.